welcome to the 42nd episode of NiinaN Knitting. My name is Niina and I'm here in my kitchen in Jyväskylä in central Finland. I live here with my husband, our two kids, and a dog. I was going to record this episode outside, and I even took the dog for a walk to do that. But it's such a beautiful and very, very sunny day that I just couldn't see the screen at all. So I ended up just walking the dog and taking a couple of video clips to use at the beginning and at the end of this video. And just I had to come back home. So I'm in my kitchen and yeah. The background is what it is. I have 4 finished knits today. I have 2 whips, and I actually have a couple of sewn things to show you. And the sound that I'm sure you just heard was my dog going past and his nails scratching the floor. Anyway. Right, so we'll get started with it. I didn't mention the date. Today's Wednesday, March the 13th, and it's been quite busy at work these past few days, a couple of weeks maybe, and today I just needed a break. I don't have classes today, so I decided to stay at home, get this video recorded, and well, we'll see about the editing maybe this evening or tomorrow. And yeah, but my knits, something that was on the go on my needles last time, and I finished it. So this is the beanie, and it's dark blue, so you really can't see it that well. Okay, now it's blowing out, but you can see the cables better. So this beanie is from a pattern called Playing with Cables, and it's my Patricia Marzán. And there's this beanie pattern and a cowl in the same set in a way. It was a free pattern on Ravelry. The yarn I used here is Drops Alaska, and last time I recorded I started looking at the markings on the ball band here, and I noticed that the recommended size for needles is 5.0 millimeters, and I'm a tight knitter. I usually have to go up a size, at least one size. And last time I was saying that I'm not sure how it's gonna go. This is supposed to be size adult slouchy, and well, I'm pretty sure you can see it. And you know, stuff happened for me. The same thing that happened to in the fairy tale where the mouse was tailoring, I think, a jacket for a cat, and week after week the cat came back asking for the jacket, and then it had become a vest, and in the end it was just a small purse or something. So yeah, well, I can fit it in my head, but no, it's not slouchy at all. I used the needles that were recommended in the pattern, and they were size 4.0 millimeter. That's US size 6, and for that was for the ribbing 4.0, and the main part of the beanie was 4.5 millimeters. That's US size 7, and yeah, I can fit it in my head. It's very snug, and I'm sure I could use it under my bike helmet if I was the person using this. But after I had finished it, my daughter said that, oh yes, she will very gladly take it. So she's been wearing it, and her head is almost as big as mine. So I guess. I was thinking about giving this to my sister-in-law for her birthday. But like I said last time, I did have some socks in my stock. I had some socks that were just a little bit too big for me. So they fit my sister-in-law not quite nicely. And my daughter got a hat. She calls it the blueberry hat because it's such nice and blue. I have a picture of her wearing it. I took it yesterday with my cell phone. I'm gonna insert it, I guess there. She wanted to have her dog in the picture with her. But yeah, the beanie goes really well with her eyeglasses and everything. So yeah, it's good. So that was the first thing I finished after recording last, I think. Yeah. And then the fourth stage of Sukka-Finlandia sock knitting competition had already started. And I cast it on and finished it on time after before the deadline. I have one sock on this plastic foot and the other one nice and blocked, but not not on any blocker now. So this pattern is called Harmonia. It's by Pirjo Iivonen, a Finnish designer who's designed quite a few socks and I think mittens too. And I have hair and dog hair on my knitwear. Well, anyway, this foot is, I think, slightly smaller than mine. And as you can see, here's where the heel of the sock is. So they are way too small for me. I knit them according to the minimum requirements for the stage. But of course, I'm sure I'll find feet for these. Probably one of my nieces. The yarn I used here is from Amy from Stranded Dye Works. It was one of her plateau sock blanks. No, she doesn't have any sock blanks right now. But it was the first time I'd knit from a sock plank, and I really thought it was pretty fun. The sort of sock blank she had dyed made these socks. I mean, there's no pooling, I think. Well, no, they're not matchy-matchy, but they're obviously a pair. Same kind of colors in them. I really like, and I thought it was really fun to knit from a blank, sorry. But I don't know if it's always as fun, if the colors sort of turn out pretty weird in the socks or whatever you're knitting from a blank. I don't know. But yeah, this one was pretty fun. And what about this pattern? It was knit cuff down, had this lace patterning all across the front of the foot and of course on the back and even in the I have to check. Yeah, this was not a heel flap and gusset. This was, I think it's the pleagle heel. It's called the pleagle heel. It's what Heidinig uses in her patterns, I think, all the time. So you make increases and then you turn the heel. So there's no picking up of stitches at any point. Anyway, it's a pretty pretty pair of socks. A shame that it's not big enough for me, but then again, they'll be a nice gift, nice present for somebody. Yeah, that's my second finished object, and so that was stage 4 for Sukka-Finlandia. And after I'd finished these, I started knitting the cat I mentioned in a previous episode. I'm gonna insert a video. Okay, I mentioned in an earlier episode that my daughter had asked me to knit her a kitty cat. And I had happened to buy some suitable yarn for that last fall, I think. And the yarn I'm talking about is this Novita Pilvi yarn. As you can see, was on discount, and I bought it in 2 different colors, just plain white and black. And Novita Pilvi is no, not 100%, 55% acrylic, 38% polyamide, and 9% polyester. So yeah, nothing natural in the yarn, but it's nice and fluffy, and that's why I thought it would go nicely in a stuffy animal or stuffy toy. And so I went on Ravelry and I found a pattern called Parlor, The Parlor Cat by Sara, Elisabeth Kellner. And this is my version. So here's the kitty cat. I used 5.0 millimeter needles, DPNs, and it started here, and you knit towards the bum of the cat, and I just chose to do these stripes. It wasn't in the pattern, but anyway, I thought it would, since I had 2 colors of yarn, I thought, yeah, it'll be a stripy cat. So this was just, I think, plain tube until a certain point where you did some increases for the butts, and then some decreases, of course, towards the tail, the start of the tail. And let me see what I wrote. So 5 millimeter needles are US size 8, and started here. I did a normal cast on, just a plain long-tailed cast on, and then I did the back, or the most part of the body, and then when you got to the tail, it said to leave a certain amount of yarn for the tail, but I think I cut the yarn. Oh man, I must have cut the yarn because I wanted to, have the right amount of yarn when I was knitting the tail. So I cut the yarn, yes. And then I proceeded to pick up some stitches from the cast on point. And I wish I'd done a provisional cast on, because yes, you can feel the cast on edge in here. It is a lot. It's hard. It feels hard in the hands, but of course nobody notices it, but I do. So you did some short rows for the chest of the cat, and then proceeded with the striping, and the face was actually just flat in the pattern, but there were a number of versions in the projects where people had made some short rows to make a nose for the cat. And yeah, mine's fine. I used somebody's idea and just did some of my own sequencing for the short rows, and then you need on to do the Kitchener, the place between the ears, and then you did the ears and bind off there. And I had bought, or I went to the store and bought a nose for the cat. So this is just those secure noses that you can find in the craft stores, I think. And then there are the black eyes, but of course, because it's so fluffy, you can't possibly, or it's possible that you can't see, but yeah. And these are the ones that you really can't pull out either. Yeah, and I of course attached them before I started stuffing the head, because otherwise I couldn't have done it. Wow, that was good thinking. So yeah, then you stuff the animal and then you knit the tail, and the pattern said to sort of stitch the tail here attached to the body, but my daughter didn't want it, so I left it so that you can wave the cat's tail, whatever. And then you knit these paws separately and stitch them in their places. And there was some instructions of how you could have put the paws really like in a cute way, like the kitty cat lie. But my daughter was, oh no, mommy, I don't want that. So yeah, it's the way she wanted. And it was a pretty easy knit, even though, yeah, I think this was a good addition to add the nose, because cats don't have a flat face. So yeah, they need a muzzle, or I think cats also have a muzzle and not just dogs. Anyway, it's pretty nice, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but yeah, it's been worn. It's been sleeping in my daughter's bed, and some of the days she's been taking it to the daycare. So yeah, nice and fluffy, and I think I knitted in a couple of days, so not a huge deal because of the big needles and so forth. I think the recommended needles for the Välimäki is 6 or 7 millimeters. So for me to go down is exceptional, but of course, I think it's, if you're making a garment out of this, then you might want it to be sort of airy, but of course I wanted to not have really big holes in the stitching, even though, as you can see, it is a loose gauge, but it's fine in a cat. Yeah, this is my kitty cat, or my daughter's kitty cat. Right, so my fourth finished object is another pair of socks. It's a really pretty one too. This is the 5th stage of Sukka-Finlandia. There are 2. One of them isn't on a block or anything. This pattern is called Halo. It's by Veera Välimäki. And well, it was very, very simple to knit, because there's just this, let me think, it was toe up. Yes, this one was toe up. So there was this cable pattern going across the front of the foot, And I have to admit that I did not enjoy knitting these 2x2 cable crosses, whatever, because I am such a tight knitter. So it was very, well, it wasn't easy to cross those two. Anyway, but the end result is really, really nice. I was knitting these while we had this sort of skiing vacation, or a week off from school for the school and daycare for the kids. And even I had a week off from work, or a week of no teaching. So it was very easy to knit this while we were, seeing relatives. We were at my mom's, and then we drove to my father-in-law's, and so this was easy enough to do there. Then there was this there were increases here, I think. Yes, increases, and then you turn the heel. Looks like a plain slip stitch heel flap and gusset, but it's not, because it's the other way around. But yeah, nice and neat, I think. And yeah, nice and neat, covers the socks pretty well. I made these my size. You were supposed to knit 4 repeats of the motif in the leg, and the stage ended last week on Tuesday, I think. Yes, 5 p.m. and last week on Monday night I'd done 1 repeat, and then I was thinking whether I'd get the kids to sleep and then just knit on until I had finished the socks, because I was knitting these 2 at a time on magic loop. And then I was just like, come on, it's not vacation time, I'm working. Nah, it's not worth it. So I missed the deadline. And since I missed the deadline, I really took my time finishing these. So I think it was on Thursday when I finally finished the socks. But boy, they're so pretty. The yarn here is just some regular Novita Venla. I bought this especially for the socks, so this is also my stash acquisition. So Novita Venla is this normal fingering weight yarn, 75% wool, 25% polyamide, and the colorway, this green, is number 372. But yeah, it's so pretty, very, very nice, and I'm very happy to be wearing these socks pretty soon, now that I've shown them to you. Yes, so yeah, I missed the deadline on the 5th stage, and I knew that the 6th stage was going to be some sort of color work sock, and they even said in the sort of materials list that you'd need crayons or something that you can use for coloring knitwear. And well, that didn't really sound like my kind of thing. And when I saw the pattern, I said, yes, it's pretty. Oh man, it's a lot of color work, and besides, I'm not gonna go and buy some pens or pencils, or I don't know, something paint to color my socks. So nah, you could have done that duplicate stitching thing, I think, where you take another color of yarn and then you sort of color because it was a flower pattern, but so you'd color the flowers after you'd finish the socks, but really, no. So that was my Sukka-Finlandia for this year. And one of my colleagues was asking me what I'm what I do with all the socks that I knit. And yes, this time I had I think only this one pair of socks that will fit my foot, and the others are either too big or too small for me. So I won't be wearing those. But I had been sort of keeping them for a group photo after I would have finished all the 6 pairs. But since I am not gonna knit the 6th one, it's no point taking the group photo either. So yeah, there'll be gifts. There'll be presents for people that I know, and maybe some of them will go to charity, probably, because for example, the socks I showed you last time, which were for man's foot, sort of 42, 43 European size, the one with color blocks. The men in my life will not wear that kind of socks. My son said that he doesn't wear woolen socks, and my husband, well, I don't think he wears woolen socks that much, him either. And then he in colors, nah, no. So I think that pair at least will go to some sort of charity, and I'll have to look into it a little later. Right, so that's my finished knitwear, and then I have 2 whips. One of them was something that I started when we're driving to my mom's, and I had the halo socks on the needles, but I really didn't think it would be good car knitting, so I started a shawl. Something that I had been planning to start for quite a while, but hadn't. And this is in my bag that I bought from, oh my, this fabric is not good in a pet household because it's always covered in fluff. Yes, yeah, this is the bag I got from Tampere Crafts Fair or something. And it's a shawl, it's the beginning of a shawl, just a small one. Ooh, it's from my leftovers from last summer's Store sock. And this is how it looks so far. So I'm gonna check. Yeah, this is the right side, because I have the progress keeper show me which way is the right size. It's not right side, even though yes, I do know it now, but I didn't in the beginning. Right, so I have, like you can see, it's a very colorful project. It'll be interesting to see how it looks once finished. Anyway, I'm gonna show you the different yarns because nobody remembers the yarns I used last summer. So the main color here is very, very colorful. It's from Manos del Uruguay, their Alegria base, and the colorway is called Locura Flor. This is my cake. A little, it's a bit not a pretty cake anymore. Yes, as you can see, it's very, very colorful, and I think it's really funny to see how different it looks in this kind of, oh, the right side, this kind of project, because I took the sock that I knit last summer. This is the socks I knit. This is the pair, or one of the pair, and it looks very different because this is knit in the round in, you know, a small circumference, and this is back and forth. looks very, very different. The colors have faded here a little bit. I've been wearing these socks a little, and there's some pilling and all that. I just washed these, even though they look so scrubby. They have already just recently been washed. I'd forgotten how much dye there was in the water after I blocked these for the first time. And even now that I had been wearing them a couple of times, so I've been washing them a couple of times after finishing the pair, and there was still quite a lot of dye in the water. We'll see how it looks, if it does anything to the other colors. Anyway, so that was the first stage of the tuosock, and this green stripe in here, it's something that I only have just a little nugget left. Where is it? Here. This is Cauldron's, let's see, Cauldron's Path Yarns Waxing Moon in Spring Green. That was my stage 2, but I also used it for another stage, and that's why I only have this small amount left. The third stage and the third color that I used here is this this red color, this red, which is also Novita Venla. The color is 545 for the red one. And then the fourth stage of the tuosock was one with color work, and I used this for the color work, or for the contrasting color, and this green Venla. Gray, oh my god, sorry. This gray colored Venla yarn for the main color, and this color is number 446. And so I have quite a bit of yarn left of this color, but I'm really running out of the green. That's why I just, even though I am using the stage 1 will be the main color, and then stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, but I didn't add the green in here anymore, because I want to have just at least 1 or maybe 2 stripes more of this green. And then something that you can't really see, because the yarn is so very colorful, the sort of main color yarn. But the 5th stage, the one that I did finish from the tuosock last summer, is these pink stripes in here. I was just garter stripes, and that actually is Long Yavor Magic yarn, and the cake is here. So these are the colors that I'm using for this shawl. And did I mention the name? I don't know. Okay, so this shawl, the pattern that I'm using here is called River by Sylvia McFadden. It's a paid for pattern, and I've had it in my queue for quite a while, because I had decided that I would use that pattern for my tuosock project, but I'm not sure if I really paid for it, or if she had some sort of a campaign or something, so that maybe it was free for a number of days and I got it for free, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's what I'm using for this, and as you can see, there are a lot of ends to weave in after I finish, or at one point maybe I'll weave in some and then I'll continue knitting. It's okay. One thing that I had forgotten is that this has this 2-stitch. I'm not sure if you can really see it. This edge is like 2 stitches of garter, and then you have stuff going on in the most part of the row. I'd forgotten that it really pulls in quite a bit, so I might start doing the yarn over that I drop from now on. I'll have to think about it. I think I explained it at least once when I was doing another shawl, because I know that these where the edges where you do an increase, I think there's one increase in here at least, possibly. At least the way I do it, it really pulled it in, so it's a really, really tight curve in here, whereas this other edge doesn't do that. So anyway, whatever the reason is, I might start doing or using the trick that I heard from Melanie Bird last summer, that when you start the row, you knit one, yarn over, knit one, and then do the rest of the row. And when you come back and you have the 2 knits and a yarn over on your needle, you knit one, drop the yarn over, and knit one, which will allow you to have quite a bit more yarn, so that the edge will be stretchier. We'll see. I might do that. Because of these ends, if there weren't so many ends to weave in, I might just rip it back and start all over, but I'm not going to do that now. So I'll probably just do the trick from now on. We'll see. Anyway, now I have a lot of yarn on my table here, and I have just one more width to show you. It's in one of these tote bags that I have. This is actually a really, really old whip, a UFO. It was a test knit a little over a year ago. I was doing one for Elisabeth White, and what you have already seen is this sock, and this was the test. So this sock, which is just absolutely beautiful, and I didn't find anything that I didn't understand in her pattern. So I'd done this last year, and I finished it by the deadline, because the test was to knit one sock, because there are no differences between the left and right foot. Anyway, so after I had finished the halo socks, I thought about what I'm gonna cast on next, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I have these socks. Maybe I'll just go on and cast the second one on. And so I did. I cast it on, and after watching a couple of episodes of Poirot and a couple of episodes of CSI Cyber, I decided to call it a night, and that's when I checked my Ravelry page for the test. And that's when I realized and remembered that, oh yes, I was testing for size large, not for small. And of course, I had cast on the second sock as size small. So I went to bed, and the next day I ripped it back, and now I've cast on size large, and I think I'm past the point where I was with the smaller one. Anyway, but yeah, it's nice. It's very, very intricate cabling. There's something going on each row, so there are no rest rows. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be really pretty. And as you can see, I'm knitting it on magic loop. These are my 3.0 millimeter knit picks. Knit picks, is it? In here, or Knit Pro? It's Knit Pro in here. Symphonies. This is a fixed set, and the 3.0 millimeter is US size 2.5. The yarn I'm using is Drops Fable, and the color is 105. It's actually very turquoise, but at least on the screen it looks totally blue. It's not blue, it's turquoise. Totally different from what I can see on the screen. But no, I can't get it to show the right color in this light. Maybe when I finish the socks and I'll be able to get some pictures outside in the natural light and the way that I can see what I'm doing. And not trying to podcast blind, not seeing the screen. Right, did I write down anything else about it? No. But yes, these are coming along nicely. I think I'm halfway through the first chart. I think there are 2 charts in the leg, perhaps. We'll repeat the chart twice, possibly. Yeah, I think it has to be twice. And then there's, I think it's a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset kind of thing. Can't remember because it was such a long time ago when I knit the first sock. But yes, that's what I've been working on right now, because the shawl has been sort of sleeping after we came back home, because I was only knitting that in the car, and not even all the time. So, oh yes, and then now this part is something that I don't always have, but yes, I've done some sewing. My daughter is not an easy size kid, so the clothes that we get from the stores aren't always a good fit for her. So I decided to sew her a few pants, and this is the first pair. I had this fabric, and I really don't know what it's called in English. I had it in my fabric stash. I think I've made a pair of pants for myself from this, so I had a lot of it. But now this is it. I only have scraps left for this. The pattern I used is from uduna.fi. I'm going to write that on the screen, and it's called Just Basic. I'll put a link to it in the show notes, and you'll find a link to the show notes in the description box down below. I bought these patches, I think, from Lidl. We have an outlet of Lidl. I showed you last time the crochet set I got from there, and I forgot that I'd actually bought something else, knitting or handcrafts related from there. So I bought these, and my daughter likes everything action figure and all that, so she wanted to have the Spider-Man or Spider-Man's patches on both legs of her pants. So it's just very, like it says in the pattern's name, Just Basic. You cut 2 pieces. There's no seam here. There are no pockets. 2 pieces, and then the waistband, and then there's an elastic band on the waist. Yeah, there are strings in the original, in the pattern. You're supposed to make some small hose and really fiddly things. No, I wasn't going to do that. But yes, if you do those, make these holes in here, you can have the string, something in it. But I know that she's not gonna tie it herself, so she has no use for it. We're just gonna have to go with the elastic band. So this was the first pair, and since I didn't have enough fabric for another, we went to the fabric store, Eurokangas, the only one we have here in Jyväskylä, and I was looking for either this kind of fabric or well, what's it called, the one that you use for sweaters? Sweater fabric, I don't know. In Finnish we call it college fabric, collegekangas, but I'm guessing that's not what it's called in English. Anyway, so I was thinking about these 2 types of fabrics, but I hadn't decided on either of them, and then my daughter came in with her dad, and she found another fabric that she liked, and so we had to buy it. She just fell in love with the dinosaurs. They are great. Granted, they're great. So the same pattern, and this fabric is, I think, soft shell fabric. I think that's what it's called in English too. So that's what it is, and put an elastic band in here. I'm gonna have to shorten it, I think, because it's lost its elasticity. I didn't use a very good quality elastic band in here, so I'll have to either put in a new one or just shorten it. I did make a buttonhole in here in the waistband where you can, just because if you need to adjust the elastic band, it'll be easier. But yeah, that's the second pair of pants I made her. And I have thought about making more pants using another pattern, but I'll have to go and buy some more fabric, so maybe, but don't know when. Yes, that's all I have for you today. The one ball of Venla yarn was the only thing I'd bought. As for plans, what to knit next, well, I don't know. I'll just finish the Indulge sock by Elisabeth White, and then see what I feel like doing. Yeah, so that's all the crafts thing I have for today. I've been reading a few books, and I've been going to the library and getting some more. I'm not sure if that interests anybody. I did listen to one audiobook, just a sort of work related thing, a while ago, but I tend not to do that because I commute by bike and I don't have very good earbuds or earphones for my cell phone. So if I'm riding my bike, I just can't hear anything from the earbuds. So I've tried it. It doesn't work. There's too much wind. So, and the only time where I walk is when I'm walking the dog, and I don't want anything to distract me then because of the way my dog is. So I have to be alert, and I have to make sure that he doesn't jump in front of any bikers, or I have to be sure to see all the other dogs because he wants to eat them all or something. So that's why I don't listen to music or anything while I walk with him. And while I knit, I tend to watch stuff, podcasts and TV. So I really don't listen to audiobooks, and that's why I haven't subscribed to any audio book services. But yeah, I've been reading some books while I, have breakfast or something. But let me know if you're interested. I don't read serious literature. I just read something. What's the word? Entertaining. That's what I just read entertaining novels. Yes, that's all from me for now. I hope you're having a good time. I hope that the weather is nice wherever you are. I hope you're well. I hope you keep well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.